The National Assembly Rules Committee has met today to officially kickstart the process of establishing the various parliamentary structures. And Parliament says this comes as the 6th Democratic Parliament is setting up its systems to fulfil its constitutional functions of oversight, lawmaking and facilitating public participation. Well, to tell us a little bit more about how all of this is playing out and what work needs to be done, I'm now joined by Parliamentary spokesperson Moloto Mothapo. Thanks very much indeed for joining us and welcome to the program. I suppose that it's all just up and running straight away with the 6th administration. It's in play now. Hello, Moloto, can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon, Peter.
Right, I was just saying that you must be really busy now setting up this 6th administration. Tell us what's been happening today and what work is being done.
Yes, absolutely, Peter. You are very low in my ear, but I will try as much as I can to hear, to grab what you're saying. Yes, indeed. It's all systems go. You remember that on the 22nd and the 23rd, the two houses of Parliament, the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, established themselves in terms of the Constitution. The members of or designated members of Parliament were sworn in, and the National Assembly Rules Committee that said today, which is a multi-party forum that is chaired by the Speaker of the National Assembly, was therefore very important in terms of putting in place the necessary systems to ensure that the 6th National Assembly is able to get down to business. It's able to put the necessary guidelines, the composition of the oversight system of Parliament over the executive with the announcement of the reconfigured cabinet by the President recently. It means that the discussions that was had by the multi-party committee of rules this morning was very important in terms of looking at how Parliament does reconfigure itself as well in terms of to ensure that it is able to conduct necessary oversight over the executive. And therefore, those were the discussions that took place. Well, of course, the agreement amongst others is that there will be reduction in terms of the number of oversight committees over the executive. The party representatives in that committee also took a decision with regard to determining the time allocation in the House for speaking amongst proportionally amongst political parties in terms of the questions, how many questions should be asked by each of the political parties represented, in terms of the motions without notice, what will be the allocation of opportunities, and other areas that instruments of oversight that the National Assembly does put in place to ensure that it is able to hold various members of the executive to account. Yeah. So it was a very important meeting, and what essentially means is that, as I've said, it's all systems go. Tomorrow, the National Assembly Programming Committee will meet in order to consider the program of the House and adopt it, so that we can have, as you know, in 2 weeks' time, the President of the Republic will be addressing the joint sitting of Parliament, which is the first State of the Nation address for the 6th Parliament, and thereafter there will be budget votes that should be taking place. With the 6th Parliament beginning, of course, having a significant portion of the membership of both houses being new, there will be also induction process as well, so that the members of Parliament are really taken through their constitutional functions and responsibilities, what is expected of being a member, what is the conduct and the expectations of being a member of various committees of Parliament. As you know, committees of Parliament are the engines of parliamentary oversight. So that there is quite a long program of activities that will be taking place, especially starting from next week.
All right. So have the portfolio committees been set up, the chairpersons allocated already, or is that something that still needs to happen?
Hi, Peter, can you just repeat that?
I was just saying, the portfolio committees, have they been set up in terms of MPs allocated to them and chairpersons appointed, or is that something that still needs to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that needs to happen because today's meeting, as I'm saying, it was very important in terms of paving the way for the establishment of the oversight structures of the National Assembly. By the way, we are talking about one house. There is another house that still has to go through the same process, the National Council of Provinces, that also has to have its first meeting of its own rules committee in order to establish its own systems of working and the oversight mechanism and its membership of various statutory bodies or legislative bodies. So the issue of the establishment, the actual establishment of committees, will take place in the next coming weeks. That's when. But what was discussed today is the membership, the principle of membership of those committees. How many? How do you allocate the membership across all political parties in a proportional system? To ensure that there is a fair representation of political parties in each of the oversight committees. So that will actually, the committees will actually be established in the next coming weeks. And at their first meetings, those committees will be expected to elect their chairpersons so that they can be begin to fulfill their constitutional mandate.
All right, and then perhaps finally, often when we've tuned into Parliament, the speakers stand up and say, point of order, rule number X what? Have those rules been changed in any way, or is this something that just happens throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, you remember that, Peter, we had an overhaul, a process of overhauling particularly the rules of the National Assembly a couple of years ago, which was the first major overhaul since 1994. So we have got what I can call brand new rules that are in place. Of course, rules do go through amendments of, one way or the other. But as matter stands, we have got the rules. But what was happening today is to actually develop guidelines on the implementation of those rules.
All right.
So that is where the issue of, speaking time allocation to various political parties then comes under discussion so that parties can agree on how they will be conducting the business of Parliament and how political parties, given their varying sizes, can be given an opportunity as well in the interest of participatory and multi-party democracy. So essentially what then will be happening is that the agreements that emanated from today's meeting will then form part of the operation and how the business of the House is carried out. So it was a very important engagement in that regard in terms of putting together the guidelines and the systems as well as the composition of the structures of Parliament.
All right, Moloto Mothapo, Parliamentary spokesperson. We'll leave it there. Thanks very much indeed. Good luck with this sixth administration. I have no doubt we'll be speaking to you a lot in the coming months. Thanks so much indeed for your time. All right, so that's the Parliamentary spokesperson, Moloto Mothapo, speaking to us about Parliament and getting ready for a busy sixth administration, which is going to be kicking off shortly.